Break the board sports. We got Big Ten, another week in the Big Ten, breaking down all the games, giving you stats, trends, predictions, information to help you with your handicapping this weekend. Got a big one. Click that like, hit subscribe. Let's hop right into them. First one, Indiana, number 2 ranked team in the country. Man, this team's on fire. They're at Penn State, laying 14.5. You're over under 48.5. Now, 88% of ticket count. 89% of the money is going to the over, 12% of ticket count, 11% of the money going to the under, 82% of tickets going to the over, or going to Indiana rather, 80% of the money on the Hoosiers, just 18% of ticket count to Penn State, equating to only 20% of the handle. Obviously, Penn State kind of a dead team. They actually showed a little resolve though last week against Ohio State, hung in there for a while, but just the quarterback play and whatnot, just not able to hang in. Indiana, they got a little bit of a test from Maryland through about almost 2 quarters, and then after that, they stretched their legs out and just showed. I'm just blown away with Indiana and how great they are and the job Kirk Sidney's done. Indiana 6-2 ATS their last 8 games. They've won 9 straight. Against Penn State, they're 4-2 ATS. They've always had a good covering route against Penn State the past couple of years. Now, Penn State's dropped 5 straight games. The over has cashed 5 of the last 6 they've participated in, and they're just 1-8 ATS their last 9 games. Now, we talk about overs, 5 of the last 6 for Penn State. The overs cashed 6 of the last 8 for Indiana. And then when these two teams have matched up, 5 of the last 6 have went over the total. So when you talk about that 48.5, you got to look at over. I mean, God, Indiana, they may be good for 31-35 by themselves. So you're just looking, can Penn State get on the board twice? That's kind of the problem. The thing is, though, the Penn State is at home. If they're going to show any resolve, they had Ohio State last week. This is really Penn State's last big game. Maybe they show some resolve here. Just that program, just absolutely unbelievable what's happened to it. Indiana 9-0 straight up, 6-3 ATS. Penn State comes in 3-5 straight up, just 1-7 ATS. Head-to-head, Penn State has taken 9 of the last 10. Indiana hasn't beat them since 2020, a 36-35 overtime win. The old Michael Penix at the goal line when he was with Indiana. Penn State 2 years ago, 33-24 at Penn State. When I look at this, I get the 14.5. I get it. Indiana's really, really good. I like Indiana. I think Indiana is ranked right where they should be. I think them and Ohio State are clearly the 2 best teams. I don't think there's any disputing that. I think from 3 on back, I can definitely make some arguments. But they're the 2 best teams in the country. However, if I had to make a play, I would look to possibly even I'm not a big teaser player in college. That's where bettors go to die, it seems like. NFL teasers work great. But I would say I would lean Penn State, and I would also lean the 7-point teaser, getting Penn State plus 21.5 and over 41.5. I like the over 48.5 just by the trends, but if I could get over 41.5, or maybe there's another game you like better than Penn State plus 21.5. But the reality is everybody's going to be on Indiana. So while they're zigging, I'll zag and hope that Indiana puts up a little bit of resistance here. Now, last 10 games as a dog, Penn State 2-8 straight up. They've lost 8 in a row as a dog, 5-5 ATS. Indiana as a road favorite, 10-0, both straight up and ATS here. So again, Indiana's rolling, but I would say I would take Penn State or nothing here in this one. But definitely like the over, getting some type of action on that somehow, some way. Next game for the Big Ten on the board, Ohio State at Purdue. This is just a sheer mismatch. Purdue, Barry Odom coming over from UNLV. I thought Purdue would get things going quicker and better. But this Ohio State team, this team's better than the team that won the national championship, in my opinion. Ohio State laying 29.5, 47.5 is the over-under, 86% of tickets, 79% of the handle to the over, 14% of tickets, 21% of the handle going to the under. Now, Ohio State, they're getting the lion's share, and they should, 78% of tickets, 92% of the handle. Only 22% of ticket count going to Purdue, and 8% of the handle for them there. when I look at this, if you're looking for look aheads, not going to really find anything there that's going to be able to help you out as far as Ohio State goes. I mean, next week, I believe Ohio State's on the bye, if I got this correctly. Just updating it here. No, they got UCLA at home. Same thing. Might as well be a bye. 29.5 is a big number here to lay it with Ohio State, but they are 4-1 ATS the last 5 versus Purdue. Ohio State's won 10 straight in a row. They're 5-0 ATS their last 5. Purdue, however, 6-14 ATS their last 20, and they've lost 7 straight games. Now, when these two teams have hooked up, it's went under the total 10 of the last 14 matchups. Ohio State comes in 8-0, 7-0-1 ATS. Purdue 2-7 straight up, 3-5-1 ATS. Ohio State has won 3 straight in the series, and they've won 7 of the last 10. Last year, Ohio State put a butt whooping on them, 45-0 in the shoe. Again, nothing I can really get down with here. This is a hard handicap. I don't want nothing to do with stepping in front of Ohio State until I see somebody give them some kind of resilience. So going to be a pass for me. Maryland laying 1.5 on the road at Rutgers, over under 58.5. Now, 32% of the ticket count, 25% of the handle going to the over, 68% of ticket count, 75% of the handle going to the under. Now, as far as the spread goes, 67% of tickets are on Maryland and 60% of the handle. Again, Maryland coming off that game with Indiana last week, thinking maybe there's a little lull this week. 33% of ticket count, 40% of the handle going to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Maryland is 5-2 ATS and 5-2 straight up the last 7 meetings with Rutgers. They're on a 4-1 ATS run their last 5. Rutgers just 2-4 ATS their last 6, and just 1-5 straight up in that same time frame. Between these two teams, the under has cashed 5 of the last 7 games that these two teams have played. Maryland comes in 4-4 straight up, 5-3 ATS. Rutgers comes in 4-5 straight up and 4-5 ATS. Last year, Rutgers got the win in College Park, Maryland, 31-17. Maryland has taken 7 of the last 10 meetings, but I really like what Schiano did last year, going in there and getting that win with Rutgers. When you dive into some stats here statistically and talking about just, offense, defense, kind of comparing that, Maryland, 26 points per game offensively they're averaging, but Rutgers averaging 29.3. Maryland giving up 22 points per game defensively. Rutgers giving up a little bit more, 31.1. I think that Maryland offense is going to give them some trouble. However, I'm really thinking about taking Rutgers plus 1.5 here. I think they should actually be, I think the line's backwards. I think Rutgers should actually be a 1.5 point favorite. So I think that's value, and I'll go ahead and scoop that up. Going to lean with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Washington, Wisconsin will be the next game in the Big Ten on the board that we go over here. Washington laying 10.5, over under 44.5, 74% of tickets, 88% of the handle going to the over, 26% of ticket count, 12% of the handle going to the under 44.5. Wisconsin, Luke Fickell has not figured that thing out like I thought he was going to. He came in, had that great bowl game, and since then, Wisconsin's been a dumpster fire. Washington laying the 10.5. They're getting 80% of ticket count and 67% of the money. 20% of ticket count to Wisconsin and 33% of the money for them. When you dive in and look at some trends to help you with your handicap here, the biggest thing that I look at is Washington, 1-7 ATS their last 8 on the road. We know they had that 20-game home win streak. Ohio State snapped that. But listen, again, 1-7 ATS on the road, not very good, as the old ball coach would say. Washington is 6-2 straight up their last 8. Now, Wisconsin, 3-7 ATS their last 10. Wisconsin's on a 6-game losing streak, and they just can't score. The unders cashed in 5 straight games for Wisconsin. The unders cashed 7 of their last 8 at home. And Washington, 7 of their last 10 when they're playing Big Ten opponents has went under the total as well. Now, I said 10.5. There's a couple 11s starting to pop up. Washington comes in 6-2 straight up, 4-4 ATS. Wisconsin, 2-6 straight up, 3-5 ATS. When you look at head-to-head, they've never matched up. For me, Nothing I want to do with this. Washington's horrible on the road. Wisconsin can't score. Just nothing that's going to interest me here and get me to the window. But hey, hopefully gave you something to help you with your handicap here. One of the best games of the weekend. Oregon coming off the bye. Iowa coming off the bye. Oregon's laying 6.5 there at Iowa, over under 40.5. That over under is telling you it's going to be a low scoring tight game unless the bookmakers are just absolutely wrong. And I don't think they are. 84% of ticket count, 73% of the handle going to the over. Everybody's going to look at that over under 40.5 and bet the over. I'm telling you, the books are begging you to bet the over. 16% of ticket count, 27% of the handle to the under 40.5. And I think that's the way it's going to end up going. Now, as far as that 6.5, this tells you pros, Joes written all over it. Oregon, 70% of tickets, but only 18% of the handle. Remember, your general public, your average Joes, they have way more percentage of ticket count. Those are your $5, your $10, your $20 bettors. Your guys betting the mucho money, only 30% of ticket count, but 82% of the money. I do think Oregon still sneaks out a win, but I am not laying 6.5. But I tell you one thing, Oregon at pick and under 46.5, a little two-team teaser action, I could definitely get down with that. I like Oregon to win, but I'm not laying 6.5. I'm telling you, this is a trap. Iowa's going to put up a fight in this one. I think Oregon's going to have their hands full. They're 18-2 straight up their last 20 as Oregon. They've won 10 straight on the road, and they're 8-2 straight up their last 10 in conference. But Iowa, 5-1 ATS, 5-1 straight up over their last 6 games. They're 9-1 at home. Iowa, just an extremely difficult place to play. Now, Oregon comes in 6-1 straight up, 4-3-1 ATS. Iowa, 6-2 straight up, 5-2-1 ATS. These two teams have never played. Oregon has no idea what they're walking into here at Iowa. Going to be an atmosphere they're not used to. We talked about Oregon right now, minus 240 on the money line. They've hit the money line 11 of their last 13 games. You'd be up 8 units, but only 3% ROI. Now, first quarter game total over, setting at 7.5 right now at BetMGM. 7 of the last games I was played in, that's went over. If you've been following that trend, you're up 3.95 units, a 33% return on your investment. Iowa's also hit the first half game total over 8 of their last 12. If you've been following that, you're up 3.35 units, a 24% return on your investment there. We talked about first half money line for Oregon. That's hit 9 of the last 13 games. So a couple different things there. Like I said, just be very wary. I think the Hawkeyes, 4th in the Big Ten against Oregon, who's 5th in the Big Ten. Iowa put up a really, really good fight there against Indiana that showed me something. I think, again, you got to be very, very careful here if you're going to take Oregon. I like Oregon to win, but I lean Iowa to the spread. And, again, they're baiting you with that over-under. Don't go betting that over, I'm telling you. I just all signs point to the books are begging you to take the over. Last game of the night, Nebraska, Dylan Raiola out for the year at UCLA. UCLA only a 1.5-point favorite. They're getting 61% of ticket count, 64% of the handle, 39% of ticket count, 36% of the handle going to Nebraska in this one. Again, Nebraska just, every time you think they're going to turn the corner, something bad happens. They're 1-4-1 ATS their last 6 and just 1-5 straight up their last 6 on the road. Nebraska 7-3 straight up their last 10. Now UCLA, they're 3-8 ATS their last 11 and just 1-5 ATS their last 6 at home. However, they've been playing much better football, and the fact that here laying 1.5, I think I'm going to bite on UCLA. Listen, last year they played at Nebraska, and UCLA won that game 27-20. They've played Nebraska 4 times in their history, and they've beat them 3 of the 4. I'm going to take UCLA. I'm not going to lay the 1.5. I'm just going to lay the $1.20 on the money line, and that's going to be the way that I lean with it, rock with it. So just in short, Penn State, Indiana, I like going over the total in that one. I lean that way. I lean Penn State. I lean Iowa, but I like Oregon to win outright. I lean to the under in that. I lean Rutgers, but I really like UCLA on the money line. That's probably my best Big Ten bet of the week. Click that like, hit subscribe, check out our SEC show, and you're going to love our NFL teaser show. Last week, awesome week in the NFL. Only the Chiefs coming up short for us, but had a great weekend teasers. Click that like, hit subscribe, Break the Board Sports, where we help you become a better handicapper. God bless and happy handicapping.